Hello and good morning, dear students. This is our fifth lecture of quantum mechanics course. So, we are going to study module 1 that we already started. This is our fifth lecture. In this lecture, we are going to study about observables and operators. So, first of all, observables. So basic definition of observable is that observable is the quantity that can be measured. Okay, so we can say Hermitian operator is associated with physical observable. So Hermitian operators are the very special type of operators. Okay, so those every operator is associated with every observable. In quantum mechanics, for example, position, momentum, energy, these are the some observables. Means we can observe position of the particle, momentum, and energy. For every observable, there is corresponding operator. Okay, so here I listed some of the observable and their corresponding operator. For example, vector r is the position vector, and their corresponding operator capital R cap. P is the linear momentum operator, and here this observable can be represented in quantum mechanics with operator minus I h cross gradient. Then T is the kinetic energy, which is p square by twice m, but in quantum mechanics that kinetic energy is minus h cross square by twice m del square. So here p square can be written as p dot p. So if you take dot product of these two terms, means minus I h cross del dotted with minus I h cross del and divided that term by 2m, we will get this term as the kinetic energy. Then total energy E is addition of kinetic energy and potential energy. Similarly, in quantum mechanics, there is a Hamiltonian. So Hamiltonian is the addition of kinetic energy in quantum mechanics, which is minus h cross square by twice m plus v square plus v, which is potential energy, which is function of r and t. Then angular momentum, which is r cross p, is the operator corresponding observable, and their operator corresponding to this angular momentum is minus I h cross r cross del. Okay, so according to postulate 5 in quantum mechanics, we already studied postulates of quantum mechanics. So according to postulate 5, total energy E for the dependent system, time dependent system, is associated with operator I h cross dabba by dabba t, and the wave function of free particle of momentum p, okay, is given by this equation. So psi of rt is equal to a, which is normalization constant, into e raised to I p dot rp is the momentum, r is the position, minus et, e is the energy, divided by h cross. If we differentiate this with respect to time, then we will get equation as I h cross dabba psi by dabba t. Okay, that is derivative of wave function with respect to time is equal to e into psi of rt. Now this is the wave function equation. To find out, next we have to find out eigenfunction and eigenvalue of momentum operator. So for that, we know that we can write momentum operator in 3 dimension as minus I h cross gradient of psi of r, and this is equal to p psi of r. This yields the eigenfunction psi of r corresponding to eigenvalue p. Now to show that, we know that mod psi square d cube r is the probability of finding particle having momentum p in the volume element dqr. which is centered about r. Now solution is psi of r is, this is the time independent solution. We are taken out time part from this solution. Psi of r is a e raised to I p dot r divided by h cross, where a is normalization constant and p is h cross k. So this is very basic equation. Momentum is given as h cross k in quantum mechanics is the eigenvalue of operator p, and the corresponding eigenfunction is a e raised to I k dot r. Now here we can write eigenvalue equation for momentum operator p of psi is equal to h cross k of psi. So this is like a of psi is equal to small a of psi. Okay, so one more important thing about wave function is that there is one-to-one correspondence between observables and operator. Now this one-to-one correspondence you have studied in mathematical physics. One-to-one means every element in one set is related to one element in other set. Next is self-adjoint operator. First of all, operator, we know that operator is the mathematical rule that when applied to a ket means a vector. Okay, so this notation is in detail we are going to study in next chapter, but now remember this means vector. So ket means vector. This transforms into another ket which is psi dash of same space. Same space means same Hilbert space. Here in quantum mechanics, all the elements are in Hilbert space. So we can write A is the operator. When operate on psi, it can produce new state which is psi dash. Example, for example, example of operators, unity operator. So it leave any ket unchanged. Suppose capital I cap is the unity operator. So when I cap operate on psi, ket is equal to again that state. Then gradient operator, which is gradient of psi of r, is dabba psi by dabba x I cap. This is in Cartesian coordinate system, plus dabba psi by dabba y j cap plus dabba psi by dabba z k cap. Then Hermitian adjoint. So this is the very important part. Hermitian adjoint or conjugate. Now this symbol a and above it is symbol of plus. This symbol is known as a dagger. So this is known as Hermitian conjugate of a. So a dagger of a complex number a is the complex conjugate of that number. Suppose a is any complex number, then a dagger is a star, means complex conjugate of that number. The Hermitian adjoint of operator of any operator, suppose a dagger is defined by this equation, which is the last equation. So that is inner product of a plus in the state psi and phi is equal to inner product of operator a in the state psi phi and its star. So with this we can define. Okay, in integral form we have studied definition, this definition in another form in your TYBSc class, that is integration running from minus infinity to plus infinity a psi d tau is equal to integration over whole space, that is minus infinity to plus infinity psi a, and we have written symbol there star d tau. Okay, so that is written by this inner product notation. To obtain Hermitian adjoint of any expression, how to obtain Hermitian adjoint of any expression, we have to follow three steps. First step is replace constants by their complex conjugate. So all the constants are replaced by their complex conjugate, that is a dagger is a star. Second step, replace kets and their corresponding bra vector, that is we can replace here in this notation. This is new notation for you, ket psi. So this is the vector. So any vector, if we take dagger, then we have to replace that vector by its corresponding operator. So this is the vector and this is the operator corresponding to this vector. Okay, so this is kit and this is a vector operator that. And if we take that operator and if we take their Hermitian adjoint, then that vector that operator becomes vector. Third, replace operator by their adjoints. So we can write a dagger, its dagger means adjoint of a operator and its adjoint is again the same operator. Then a small a into a cap, its adjoint is a star into a cap. Then a raised to n, its dagger is a dagger raised to n. Hermitian and self adjoint operator. So this is the one more important definition. What is known as self adjoint operator? An operator A is said to be Hermitian or self adjoint if it is equal to its adjoint. That is, if A is the operator and if A is equal to A dagger, then we can say that operator is Hermitian, okay, or self adjoint operator. Or in another definition is like this: inner product of a operator in the state psi phi is inner product of a operator in the state phi and psi. These two states are interchanged. This is psi and phi, this is phi and psi star. Then skew Hermitian or anti-Hermitian operator. Definition is that if B is the operator, then if we take Hermitian conjugate of B, that is B dagger is equal to minus B, then such operator is known as skew Hermitian or anti-Hermitian operator. Here we are going to study problem. Okay, so problem is discuss hermeticity of this three operators. First one is a plus a dagger, second one is I into a plus a dagger, and third one is I into a minus a dagger. B part, find Hermitian adjoint of f of a, which is function of operator is given by this expression 1 plus ia plus 3a square into 1 minus 2ia minus 9a square divided by 5 plus 7a. And third, show that expectation value of Hermitian operator are real and that of anti-Hermitian operator are imaginary. So for Hermitian operator, A is equal to A dagger. So this is the definition of that Hermitian operator. If we take B as A plus A dagger and if we take its adjoint, then B dagger is A plus A dagger its dagger. So that is equal to A dagger plus A dagger its dagger. So that is A dagger plus A. Now this is same as B operator. So we can say B is equal to B dagger and therefore A plus A dagger is Hermitian operator. Then second part of this problem is for B is equal to I into A minus A dagger. So if we take its complex conjugate, that is B dagger, then B dagger is equal to minus I. So complex conjugate I is minus I. A dagger minus A dagger its dagger. So that is minus I, A dagger minus A. If you multiply with this minus sign, so that is A minus A dagger. And this is again same quantity. So here this is again Hermitian. Now for third part, that is B is I into A plus A dagger. So if we take its Hermitian, that is B dagger is equal to I, its complex conjugate is minus I, then A dagger plus A dagger its dagger, so that is minus I, A dagger plus A. So since A dagger its dagger is A, so B is equal to minus B dagger if we compare these two. So we can say B dagger is skew Hermitian. Now we have to find out Hermitian of this function, B part of that problem, f which is function of A, and we have to find out its dagger. So that is f star which is complex conjugate of A dagger. So we can write that as 1 plus ia plus 3a square 1 minus 2a minus 9a square divided by 1 plus 5 plus 7a. Its dagger is Hermitian conjugate of first term, which is 1. Okay, Hermitian conjugate of this term can be written in the first of all, and this term goes in the second part. So 1 minus 2i becomes 2i into a minus 9a becomes 9a dagger square. So here a dagger must be there, and 1, this part becomes 1 minus, instead of I it will become minus I. So 1 minus I into a dagger and plus 3a into dagger square, and divided by 5 plus 7 into a dagger. C part, that we have to show that eigenvalue of Hermitian operator are real. So from definition of Hermitian operator, we can say inner product of A in the state psi is inner product of A dagger in the state psi, its complex conjugate. So if you take its complex conjugate, then that becomes A dagger star. So that is satisfied if A dagger is equal to A. Then for this is to satisfied A dagger is equal to A, this must be real. So this is the eigenvalues, and eigenvalues must be real. And for Hermitian operator, we know that skew Hermitian operator or anti Hermitian operator's definition is that B dagger is equal to minus B. So inner product of psi B and psi in this state psi is minus this term from the definition. So we can write this is equal to minus psi into B dagger, and that is B is equal to minus B dagger, and this is purely imaginary number because this condition must be satisfied. So from this we can say eigenvalues of skew Hermitian operator are always imaginary. Then last point of our today's lecture is eigenvalue and eigenvectors of operators. So we know that eigenvalue and eigenvector equation. A state vector psi, which is kate, is said to be eigenvector of operator A of any if for any application of a psi it gives a operate on psi is equal to a operate on psi, where kate psi is the eigenvector and small a, capital A is the operator, and small a is the eigenvalue of this operator. Now here a is complex number called eigenvalue of a. Equation is known as eigenvalue equation. That equation can be written for unitary operator like this. The next, completeness and closure property. For completeness and closure property, first of all we have to study about if we have two observables a and b and their corresponding operator are a cap and b cap. If we can say commutator AB is equal to 0, so this square bracket is the commutator bracket. Okay, so commutator AB is equal to 0. We studied this commutator bracket. If A and B do not commute, they cannot be measured simultaneously. Now the order in which they are measured matters. So theorem, if two observables are compatible, their corresponding operator possess a set of common or simultaneous eigenstates, and this is hold for degenerate and non-degenerate eigenvalues also. Here this completeness condition is elaborated. So consider a set of joint eigenstate. Suppose kate psi n can be represented as these are the large number of states. First one is psi n1 in the state A, psi n2 B, psi n3 C. So the completeness and orthonormality condition of this set are summation over n1, n2, n3. Then this is the corresponding vectors, that is kate psi n1a, kate psi n2b, kate psi n3c. Okay, and their corresponding operator. So these are the vector and these are the operator. So psi n1a, psi n2b, psi n3c, okay, that is equal to 1. If this condition is satisfied, then we can say they satisfy completeness and orthonormality condition. All the functions, wave functions in quantum mechanics satisfy this completeness and orthonormality condition. So here we can write psi n dash into psi n is equal to delta, which is Kronecker delta function of n dash n. So that is equal to delta n1 dash n1, that is into dash delta n2 dash n2 into delta n3 dash n3. So these are the compatible observations can be measured simultaneously with arbitrary accuracy, and not non-compatible observable cannot be measured. So with this, we stop our lecture over here. Thank you.